Hey, Slick Talkers, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. And I know that if you love this show, you'll also love my morning show called Good Morning Hospitality with my co-hosts Michael Golden and Brandy Canali, as we spend 30 minutes every Monday morning to dive into the industry's top latest news and trending topics. So go check it out on wherever you find your podcasts at Good Morning Hospitality. And you can live stream with us on Monday mornings on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Now, I hope you enjoy this episode.
But we were able to get the beginning deals off the ground, and we were able to really convince these vendors that there was a tremendous amount of potential here. They understood the connection with the short-term rental industry. They understood that they were optimized. Some of these companies were selling hotels before. It just wasn't generally available to the short-term rental industry. And we revamped those deals, again, like I said, with free shipping and things like that on certain vendors, like to make more sense here. But once we were able to sell that dream and get them on board, that's how we were able to really get it off the ground.
You're listening to Slick Talk, the hospitality podcast, a podcast for those who are in and around the hospitality industry who love, live, and breathe what they do. You can join us for candid and unscripted conversations with hospitality experts and founders as we go deeper into their personal stories while they're sharing their triumphs and trials that got them to where they are today. I'm your host, Will Slickers, and you're listening to an episode of Slick Talk, the hospitality podcast. Now, let's begin. Running a short-term rental business is challenging and time-consuming. Whether it's 10 units or 1,000 units, trying to keep up with the latest trends, technology, hardware, revenue management, guest support, and R&D, it's become almost impossible and increasingly more expensive for the everyday host. On top of that, all of this tedious work does not allow you to focus on what matters most, and that is your guest. Luckily, this will no longer be a problem. Introducing Journey's MOS, the newest and most advanced tech solution in hospitality. Journey's MOS provides you with a one-stop solution that will automate your entire operation and take care of all of your back office work, allowing you to fully focus on growing your business the way you want to. To learn more about MOS, visit Journey online at journey.com. That's Journey, JURNY.com. All right, everybody, welcome back to Slick Talk, the hospitality podcast. I'm here, your host. We're at VRMA. I have an amazing guest with me, Jeff from Host GPO. You're doing some big things here, so let's just jump right into the episode. I've been watching you guys for a while, and now we're going to hear your story. So, Jeff, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Really, really excited to be here. And it's been an amazing, amazing conference, and we've met a lot of great people. And it's been a really, really successful time for us.
Awesome. Well, that's about time. It's about time that people are together and networking in real life other than LinkedIn. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. So
awesome.
It's been great.
Well, tell me about your journey. So, I guess give the audience, what is Host GPO? And then we'll go into what your story is. So, where'd you even start, and what was the idea of this?
Sure. Yeah. So Host GPO is a group purchasing organization for the vacation rental industry. GPO stands for Group Purchasing Organization, which essentially means we're a buying group. We're a collective of short-term rental operators and property management companies who are professionals in the space. And once you join our group, you get access to negotiated deals and discounts, terms and products that aren't generally available to the public, pretty much better than wholesale pricing. For things like furniture, linens, mattresses, supplies, all the things that you need to set up your units. And I guess I should mention that Host GPO is now, we just won the VRMA Innovator of the Year award for this year's conference, and the Focusrite People's Choice Award. So it's been a really exciting year for us, and yeah, that's essentially what Host GPO is.
I was going to say, it sounds like you practiced that pitch a little bit from that.
I gave it this morning, so yeah.
Yeah, it's fresh off the brain, which is really nice. But it's clear, it's decisive, and obviously, it makes sense on why you guys won, because you got straight to the point. I love that.
Yeah.
So how did you get into short-term rentals? What's your journey look like? Did you come accidentally fall into it like everybody else says, or what's the deal?
Absolutely. So I was a lawyer. I mean, I still am a lawyer, but I was practicing law at a big law firm, and I was living in the house across the street. It was a very interesting story. It was based in Los Angeles, and the house across the street from me was getting renovated. And sometimes in LA, when you're waiting for permits and the house is in the entitlement phase, it sits empty for quite a while. And so I went and spoke with the owner, and he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do with it, and trying to figure out if he should, rent it or rent it to a family or what. He wasn't sure of the timeline, thought it was maybe going to be a year, maybe 2 years. And I just thought, wow, this is a really interesting opportunity. I've always heard about the vacation rental industry. Maybe we should give it a shot. And I had another friend who'd kind of been in the vacation rental industry before. And so we decided to maybe go into it together. And it was one property. And that first property, we did lease arbitrage on, and we did really well. And that one property turned into 5, turned into 10. Once we got to around 20, I ended up leaving my law job. And then that business and that company, we grew into 150 properties that we were running at a time. Wow. And there were everything from luxury homes and luxury villas all the way down to 1-bedroom studio apartments, and just kind of learned the industry that way.
Well, did you particularly like one segment of inventory rather than the other? Like, for you guys were I guess, with having luxury homes, and the nightly rates compared to that in a studio are completely different.
Very different.
Yeah. So what was that like for your guys' business model?
Well, I think, the business answer is I liked the deals that were the best. Sure. So I obviously wanted the best deals, and a lot of those kind of actually came through that same, we were hunting for units that were in the entitlement phase that we could take for a couple of years and, lease it half market rate rent and rent out for vacation rental, huge multiples there. But overall, I think I really started to enjoy the luxury properties and mid-level luxury homes a lot more, because I started to realize the amount of work between, bookings and communications, getting somebody into a 7-bedroom house was more or less the same as my 1-bedroom apartments. And I figured, I would rather do this over and over again if it's possible. But you definitely have to be confident and secure in what you're doing. Otherwise, there's no way I would have been able to sign some of the insane lease arbitrage leases that I did unless I was really confident I was going to be able to pull it out.
And do you particularly like the lease arbitrage model? We have a rev share model where we do commission, the whole thing. But we've always kind of thought about the arbitrage, but just seeing what happened in the beginning of COVID was kind of like, okay, the risk is definitely way higher. What were your thoughts on that and how that worked?
Yeah, we weren't strictly lease arbitrage, so we did most of our properties lease arbitrage. I think it's really property dependent, and it's situational as well. For us starting out, especially 7 years ago, I think lease arbitrage was the no-brainer model because the multiples were so high, and it was almost impossible to miss in this industry. You could throw a million darts at the wall, and they were going to hit something. Might not be a bullseye, but you were going to score. And nowadays, it's a little bit more, not difficult, just strategic. And so I think you really have to know what you're getting into. And sometimes that means that property management and commission rev share models make sense. And we would do both. So I don't have a strong preference one or the other. I'm really deal specific. But if it's a great property that I know is absolutely going to crush, I 100% want to do lease arbitrage.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Well, it's exactly what I told my business partners. Like, look, it's very situational for me. I don't know. But good to know from you, because I think it's good to get the inside scoop.
Look, and I think really when you get down to the details of it, I think it really also depends when you do lease arbitrage if you're doing it in an intelligent way. So, I was a lawyer, and you better believe that all of my contracts, especially when COVID hit, had escape clauses that were built in there for specific reasons. If we can't rent this out on the short-term rental market, our lease is over. So there was no real risk. I mean, your risk is you move out. So when COVID happened, we pivoted hard. We got rid of a bunch of units. We transitioned to longer term rentals on some units, but we weren't handcuffed, and we didn't, we made it out okay.
That's awesome. So you are still managing, but what were the aha moments that got you to the point of creating Host GPO? Like, what was the pain point? Maybe I'm assuming that you had. So kind of give us the journey of creating this business.
Sure. I think the first one, the one I talked about in the pitch this morning, the Focusrite pitch, was that there was this moment where I signed a 16-unit building for to lease arbitrage, and we needed to set it up immediately. And I took my whole team to IKEA, and we were standing there in line. We had 48 shopping carts behind us, and the checkout alone took 3 hours. We were late returning the U-Hauls. Everybody wanted to kill me. And, in the morning, we had to start building the furniture.
Yeah.
And so those units ended up looking terrible on top of everything else. And so I think that I realized that was one, like, this isn't going to work. Or, another time I had to buy 50 mattresses or even 10 mattresses. And it was just so hard trying to figure out which is the right mattress and what are guests going to like and which linens are going to work. And, you go to the unit and the linens don't match and your team is just buying stuff from whatever the closest department store is. And you have cream colored pillowcases and white sheets or, all of the pain points. Setting up 50 fake emails so that you could register and get the first time order discounts on the websites. I mean, everybody goes through the same stuff.
Yeah.
And, you realize the amount of time you waste in building and setting up furniture, or the amount of time you waste in replacing poor quality furniture that breaks and refunding guests and blocking off nights so you can put new stuff in there. I mean, this is stuff that people in the space and veterans in the space have learned the hard way. And a big part of Host GPO is trying to help people scale and get to the point where they either don't have to learn the hardware because they're growing, or even some of our members who have thousands of units are so excited to be a part of what we do because they're also benefiting from discounted pricing and that kind of stuff. They might have been ordering from these vendors already because they knew, but it's just a really, really good access point.
Well, standardizing like the industry as a manager, you're not, like, you made the point of not having cream colored pillowcases but white sheets. Like, there's standardization now with your portfolio and inventory and what the guests are going to expect and experience. And that's been a big issue, and I would say maybe probably still is a little bit of an issue. As you guys are seeing, like, your users in the group probably have a set preferred provider that they use in all of their linens across the board. Or not all their linens, all their properties across. I'm thinking about linens. But, like, yeah, so that's really important because a lot of the times owners, when they're, if you're a single family homeowner and you are talking to a management company, these are questions that come up, and a lot of the times they don't have it. Like, oh, we'll just order off Amazon or whatever. So yeah, it's a really good idea because it's really helping not just the manager streamline their stuff, but it's really helping the industry as a whole move forward.
Yeah, move forward and streamline the operations, streamline your procurement, make things a lot easier, save money, but also elevate the units. I mean, people are buying, and I was too. I mean, look, I played Wayfair roulette. I ordered the nightstand that turned out to be a kid's nightstand. I mean, I've done the IKEA build. People are learning these things the hard way, and we're trying to elevate the units overall because our brand partners are companies like West Elm, Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, Brooklinen, Standard Textile, Public Goods, World Amenities. I mean, we have a lot of partners, but we partner with them for specific reasons because they're selling products that are optimized for our units. Yeah. And our partnerships make sense because they help standardize the units, but they also are set up in a specific way so that you can ship to one unit at a time, as opposed to, even if you have 500 units, you're setting up one unit. And so they need to be, structured. These deals are structured in a way that allow you to really access the things that are going to be important to short-term rental hosts. Yeah. Optionality, lots of SKUs, lots of different choices, the ability to ship different places, contract grade, commercial quality furniture that's not going to wear down as much, pre-laundered linens. So when you're setting up a unit, you don't have to do the first 50 loads of laundry between all the towels and stuff. Like, pre-laundered linens is a huge time saver, especially if you're ordering from a company that, like Standard Textile, that has really good hospitality commercial grade linens. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're commercial grade in the sense that they feel incredible. They're hotel sheets, yeah, and they're great. And you can get them really, our members save between 30 and 70% off on, like, all the stuff they're ordering.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, man, you just it's like, sorry, I gotta, like, flex myself.
Sorry.
It's so
much.
Good.
Yeah,
it's so good. But, like, how do you guys create this? Like, how do you from the back end of it, like, creating, okay, you saw the problem, you saw that, okay, this is a big issue for not just me, but other operators I know in my network.
how do you set that up? How do you contact these people and these companies to get these significant discounts, but then also great quality products?
It took a long time. I mean, we've been building this for a while, and it started as a private group of my business and a handful of other companies that had, we had several thousand units together. Yeah. Now we have well over 100,000 units between all of our members. So now it's much easier to go to the negotiating table and say, this is what we're buying at other places, as a group. Now, what can we do here? And so the beginnings were difficult. It required thousands of phone calls and pounding the pavement and, doing all of the things that, you have to do when you start a business. But we were able to get the beginning deals off the ground, and we were able to really convince these vendors that there was a tremendous amount of potential here. They understood the connection with the short-term rental industry. They understood that they were optimized. Some of these companies were selling to hotels before. It just wasn't generally available to, the short-term rental industry. And we revamped those deals, again, like I said, with free shipping and things like that on certain vendors, like to make more sense here. But once we were able to sell that dream and get them on board, that's kind of how we were able to really get it off the ground. And it's been a combination of hard work at the beginning, building a bridge from both sides, asking for trust from our members to say, hey, we're growing this thing, it's going to be big, asking for trust from the vendors to say, this is going to be big. And we've just been really fortunate that we've gotten to that point very, very quickly. And we were able to grow by learning from our community too. Yeah. So I know it's convoluted answer to the question, but the last part of how we got here was a lot of our members who were running 500 units or 200 units or even 50 units would say things like, this is who I buy this from, and this is why. And once we hear that over and over again, we'll partner with that brand. Public Goods was a really good example. Okay. Everybody wanted to buy Public Goods because they have amazing, amazing amenities, and they're really, really low cost. And so that was a really easy one for us to reach out to and say, hey, this is a really good fit for our space, and not a lot of people know about you.
Yeah. Well, you're not only growing the vendor side, but the member side. And so being a private group in the beginning, I guess kind of walk us through, what does the membership look like for someone like me or anybody else that's listening to the podcast, or anyone that's got 100 plus or one unit?
Sure. So the way that it works is if you have to have 3 or more units to join us, because ultimately, if you don't have 3 units yet, you're still kind of getting started, and there's a lot of things that you're going to figure out if you're going to commit to this industry. For sure. But a lot of the professionals in the space, you have to have 3 or more units, and then for anybody, no matter who you are, and we're just in the U.S. and Canada right now. Just as a heads up, we're expanding to a lot of other places, but we're just in the U.S. and Canada right now. Anybody, no matter how many units you have, it is 3 months free. So you sign up, you have 3 months free. There's no commitment. You have full access to everything. You can order, you can see the deals. Like, we're not trying to hide the ball. We want you to be able to. We can't talk about the deals. Like, I can't tell you right now, you get this much off this brand, because we sign confidentiality agreements in order to get the deals, right? They don't want us advertising what the discounts are. They're insane. So once you sign up, you're able to log in, see the deals, place orders, figure out how it works. You have an onboarding call with our team. And then after that, the pricing works. It's tiered out. So if you have 5 units, or even if you have up to 10 units, your total cost for all of the discounts that we offer and all the deals and access to everything is $120 a year for everything. And then it just kind of scales up from there based on how many units you have. So we also have this guarantee where if you don't save more than your membership cost, which I physically don't think is possible, it's really if you don't place an order, we'll refund you your cost. We're not trying to, we have thousands and thousands of members, and that's how we're generating, our operating income. But it's been a really nice thing to be able to grow like that and keep costs really low. For sure.
So now tell me about scaling this business. While scaling, or are you scaling your management business still? Or are you guys settled? What's kind of, give me it's a lot of hats to wear.
It's a lot of hats to wear. And I've held on to, a good smaller portfolio of units that I had before, because I think it's really important to just be in this industry if you're in this industry and understand how things are changing. Like, I want to know when the cancellation policies change. I want to know when, all that stuff happens, because I've been doing it. It's important. Actually, everybody that works at Host GPO, all of our team, are also vacation rental operators. It's because they get it. You know, they understand what's going on. A lot of our team signed up as members, and on their membership calls, we're like, hey, actually, are you hiring? And we were like, yeah, you want to come help? And that's how we kind of built our team. So, but you know, I've stepped away from the majority of my properties from the rental side, and I'm really focused full time on Host GPO.
Cool. So somebody's managing that side of the business. Yeah. All right, cool. Good to know.
I've said this on Slick Talk many times before, and as time goes on, it becomes more and more true. Operators have been so used to multiple logins, different dashboards, and overall segregated data points for their hospitality brand. I'm proud to say this is no longer going to be the case for the industry. As a podcast partner, Journey MOS is made for operators by operators. One dashboard, one solution to keep your business in shape and ahead of the competition. If you think this is too good to be true, then you need to go to journey.com, that is JURNY.com, to learn how Journey MOS can get you ahead of the big players in your market. And now, back to the episode.
Man, so like when it comes to vendors, what I'm thinking about is how are you guys bridging that inventory of their supply and product with your members? Did you guys have to build a technology?
Yeah, so we're integrating with all of their APIs in order for you to be able to access the tracking and the inventories and stuff like that. So ultimately, when you're ordering from our vendors, or you're ordering as a Host GPO member, you're not ordering from us. You're ordering from them. Yeah, 100%. And so ordering processes vary depending on the vendor, but it can be as simple as once you create an account with that vendor, you're associated as a Host GPO member, and next time you log in, you're looking at our pricing. And if you have an account with them already, we can just upgrade you. Yeah. So next time you log in, it'll just be more of a discount. So it's pretty simple and seamless, and it definitely wasn't at the beginning, and it's getting better too. And we thank you all of our members who have been slowly, patiently going through this with us. We are sorry about the bumps in the road, but we're really happy with kind of where things are and where things are going, and it's fairly straightforward to use. And again, we do an onboarding call with every single person who signs up, which we think is super important because our vendors, some of them are really luxury, some of them are mid-level, some of them are value, and we want to make sure that you're not wasting time looking at a mattress that's not going to work for you. And we try to help guide people and ask, we look at your units, one, to make sure that you're a vacation rental host, but also to look at where you're buying stuff from and ask how we can help and what problems you're having. Is it linens? Is it, we can't build furniture anymore, and we can tell you about, West Elm's flat rate delivery. What a game changer. They come and build all of the furniture for you for like $249. You can do a whole house. Yeah. And they'll put the bed in the third floor. They'll put the couch in the, living room.
I was saying, I was like, man, that's the next company somebody needs to make, is a building/moving company for people that are taking over these massive buildings or even just big homes.
And this is a really good solution. I mean, look, there are a lot of solutions and there are a lot of different business problems out there, but a really good one for setting up a new home is we're doing a pilot program with Williams-Sonoma. Okay. It's a Host GPO Williams-Sonoma pilot, and it's a design program. So if you're setting up a new house and it's a bigger project, you can join the design pilot, and what that'll mean is the West Elm or Pottery Barn designer will come to the house, look at the measurements, they'll design the whole house for you. You can buy as much furniture as you want through the design program. And then there are different tiers of the installation, but the highest tier, which is amazing, and so many of our members are doing right now, is they will come and run the project management on the delivery day, like stand at the door with a checkboard and be like, this couch goes here, this bed goes there, third floor, this bed goes there. Wow. They'll lay out the furniture, and they will peel the price tags off the bottom of the wine glasses and steam the curtains and stage the pillows, whatever you order from them. And it's an amazing time saver to not have to deal with that stuff.
Guys, it's the end of the episode where I gotta go. I'm just kidding. No, that's so good. That's so good, man. You guys are doing some, wow. I didn't think it could get to that level, but it really can.
It can. We have some really exciting stuff coming up too. I mean, we're doing co-branded boxes with some of these companies, so you'll be able to one-click a kitchen, one-click your sheets, all of that stuff. We have some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Well, do you guys ever see yourself kind of even partnering up with property management softwares where property managers like myself are looking through their marketplace of integrations and then realizing like, oh, hey, like this is a perfect solution. Is anything like that coming out in the future for you guys?
Maybe. I mean, we've looked at some property management softwares. I think it's tough with PMS software, or in general, because it's just not a one size fits all solution. Like, I definitely like a lot of different companies that are out there in the space, and some are great if you're really, really tech savvy, and some are really, really good if you need a direct booking website, and they all have their different strengths. So from a vendor partnership side, we haven't really gone that direction. As far as other vendors, though, that aren't, furniture and mattresses, linen supplies, rugs, or all the stuff that we do, we are starting to look at, things like, I would love to get to the point where all of our members get $5 off all of your Spectrum accounts, Yeah. I mean, I had 200 Spectrum accounts, and I had to log into each of them individually. Like, wouldn't it be cool? I mean, this is all off the cuff. Like, don't quote me on this, but like, wouldn't it be great if you could just log into one as a business like account and see all your accounts and see what's on and off, and not have to register each one and get, $5-10 off each one every month? Like, that kind of stuff really adds up. And that's what a GPO does. GPOs exist in other industries. I mean, they exist in pharmaceuticals, they exist in hospitals. Like, it should exist in our space, and that's really what we're trying to do with Host GPO.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm even thinking like we use Yale locks. So like, if I want to, if I'm signing 10 properties and I need to buy 10 locks or whatever amount of stuff like that, like that'd be even a great spot for hardware, IoT, all that good stuff.
Exactly, and we are really, really focused on. We try to go for the big ticket items first. Like, where can we really help people and save the most? And mattresses or furniture and linens, constantly reordering. Everybody knows how much you go through towels. Everybody knows how much you go through rugs. Rugs are like a consumable item in a house, in a vacation rental. Like, nobody's trying to shampoo a rug for $300. Like, forget about it. I'll just get another one. Like, it's just it's an unfortunate thing. You can try to get it out, but like sometimes it doesn't come out. And I think that we tried to hit those first, but now we're focusing on, more offerings, more vendor partnerships. And one thing we really focus on, and that makes Host GPO really special, is nothing that we put on our site is not worth your time. I mean, everything is worth your time. So if I'm saving you 50 cents on something, like, probably not gonna, on your 50 lock order, I'm probably not gonna put it on our site because, just pay it, but if I can get to a point where it's something meaningful or it's a bigger partner, then we're definitely going to put that on, and we're trying to help people as much as we can.
I love that. So I guess what's next other than, adding these things for you guys is, are you going to become the Amazon of the short-term rental space, where it's the go-to, it's membership, it's already a membership, but it's a significant, like, 2-day delivery type membership. Like, kind of explain your guys' roadmap in the future, because obviously pitching, you guys have like maybe an end goal in mind or something like that, but I'm just kind of curious to see where you guys are wanting to take it. Yeah,
I mean, short term, we definitely have like short, medium term, and long term goals. I think our short term goals are to make our current product and our website just even easier to use, even more streamlined, even more efficient, and really focus on our products and offerings. Medium term, it's going to be expanding our partnerships. So more vendors, different categories, like you said, electronics, locks, cameras. We know what everybody's using. I mean, I know about 1 million of, and getting all that stuff kind of in a row, and also expanding into territories. Like I said, we're in the U.S. and Canada, but we're expanding to 2 other territories soon. We're already starting the negotiations, and it's easy for us to figure out who the right linen partner is in the States, because we know, but it's much harder in other countries to find something that's the best. And so expanding other territories and things like that. And long term, I don't know. I mean, I like to just leave that open, and because a lot of this isn't it's not me driving, it's our community, and it's our members being like, this is what we need, this is what we want, and we like to really leave things open for people to tell us how we can help and how we can make things better.
Is there like a chat communication forum thing inside of Host GPO?
So, well, there's just a live chat generally that is used by our members, and we love when people chat in about literally. And people will like chat in and be like, "I just got the Helix mattress and I love it." And we're like, "Great!" So that kind of stuff is great. We also hold a monthly town hall where it's it's me, and we usually have somebody come on and whether it's like a vendor to talk about, like, answer questions about all the linens, or whether it's somebody who's done something cool in the space, just to talk about, one of our members even, like, talking about that kind of stuff. So we started that town hall thing, which is an open format for people to think. And then we just have a general, like, feedback forum for people to just, tell us what it is that they want.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love the community side. That not only the discounts and the great products and partners that you guys on the vendor side is cool, but like having that community build where it's like a mastermind. You guys are really forming a strong bond with these other operators on a global scale. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And, I think that there are a lot of masterminds out there, and there are a lot of obviously great podcasts out there, and we're definitely not trying to do that. But instead, we want those people to come in. We're not in the business of educating people on how to run short-term rentals.
Yeah.
But we are in the business of specifically helping streamline your operations and, being a system for you to use that's in place for ordering, whether it's you ordering for your own business, whether you have somebody doing your procurement for you and you can really help them streamline their operations, or any other use for Host GPO. That's mostly what we focus on, and really figuring out what the pain points are for people. And, those change, they move around. So identifying them and helping resolve them.
I love it. Well, at the end of every episode, I like to ask my guests, where's the best place that any listener can find you? Go ahead, give yourself like a shameless shout out. Obviously, Host GPO has been said multiple times throughout the podcast, but for more information about you, the company, what you guys are doing, etc., go.
So you can find us at hostgpo.com. That's HOST-GPO for Group Purchasing Organization, hostgpo.com. Click join us now in the middle. It's a quick application form. Ask for your name and how many units you have, etc. And then once you click apply now, you'll schedule an onboarding call. And on that onboarding call, you'll speak with somebody from our team, or maybe me, and we can go through, show you how the website works, approve your account, and you'll be a part of our group. And look forward to welcoming you all there. Host GPO has a lot of FAQs in case you have questions, or hop onto the website if you have any questions. You can live chat us there as well.
You get asked all the time, what does GPO stand for?
Yeah. Oh man. I like Host GPO and I think it's a really good name, but walking around this conference, everyone's like, "Hey, Host Pro." And I'm like, "Oh man." The lanyard just hangs right over the G on the from the conference. Host Pro. But yeah, Host GPO, it's a GPO. This is what we're doing. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being on the podcast. Everyone who's listening, go ahead, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow everything Host GPO. Look at the show notes, click the links, join, sign up, start streamlining your operations when it comes to furnishing and, not having to build furniture yourself. That would be great. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to our show partners for making Slick Talk, the hospitality podcast, possible. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we would love to connect with you outside of the podcast. So you can follow us on all of our social media channels for daily hospitality content, or find us on slicktalkthepodcast.com. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm your host, Will Slickers, and we will see you guys all again next week. In hotels and vacation rentals, the top complaints or issues are noise, garbage, and parking. I may not be able to solve all of your parking and garbage problems, but I could definitely help with your noise problems. And that actually might just help your garbage and parking problems too. So NoiseAware is the only 100% privacy-safe noise monitoring solution that property managers and owners can use in order to ensure they avoid parties and other issues happening at their property. You won't get notified when a plate breaks, but if you have a little quiet get-together that kind of gets out of hand, like this, then NoiseAware will give you the peace of mind to ensure that you and your property, and of course, your profits, are protected. So use my code SlickTalk20 to get 20% off of all noise monitoring devices and focus on the other important things that help you run your business. Now, thank you for checking out Slick Talk, the Hospitality Podcast. Get back to the episode, and don't forget to check out NoiseAware while you're listening. What's up, everybody? If you've gotten this far into the episode of Slick Talk, the Hospitality Podcast, then you are amazing, and thank you so much for tuning in. We want to send you two places really quickly. If you can, check out the show notes and click the hospitality.fm link. Check out all of our other shows on the podcast network. And don't forget, if you have someone that you want to hear on the podcast, then fill out the guest fill out form so that way we can get them on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy another episode of Slick Talk, the Hospitality Podcast.